to start out by getting your explanations of what is Kapu Aloha.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Kapu Aloha is always thinking about others, thinking about place, thinking about relationship, and how to best have that happen. And to keep yourself in that disciplining of thinking that what I want is not the most important thing. If it does not align with these ways of behaving well with each other and with the place that we are in. So that is, at its simplest level, how we want people to be here. Ua?
Kapu Aloha has two English definitions that are usually used. One word is prohibited, and the other word is sacred. In the case of Kapu Aloha, it means both. And the idea of the way you behave should be sacred to not only yourself, but the people around you. Prohibited because you're prohibited to act in a certain way. The aloha part has many different meanings. One of the greater meanings that everybody uses as aloha is love. You can use love in many different ways, and love has many different levels of acceptance. You have the love between a mother and a daughter, a mother and children. You have a love between the husband and wife. You have a love between cousins. You have a love between friends. And then you have a love between people you meet for this first time, and you have a good relationship with them. And by the time you've talked for a few days, you tell a person, I love you. So when we talk about Kapu Aloha, we're talking about a prohibition, a way to act with the idea of exuding a particular level of love. Okay. Our whole culture is made up of reciprocity. Okay. And so it's kind of something that's taken for granted, because I already know when I'm going to somebody's house, they're going to feed me, because that's the reciprocity. If they come to my house, I'm going to feed them. And so the reciprocity of aloha for us is that we're exchanging breath. And exchanging breath means that I'm going to live because you've exchanged breath with me, and you're going to live because I've exchanged breath with you. And so that's kind of a big deal. That's like birthing, giving birth to a person. You're giving them breath. Okay. And so that's the idea, that's the whole idea to me of Kapu Aloha, that you have to act and commit to what this whole group is committing to. So it's when you come into this particular space or community of the mauna, this community of the mauna is ruled by Kapu Aloha.
It's the rule here because how we are here is what we send with our actions, with our words, with our behaviors. It lifts up. We feel this wind. It lifts up. We as humans put forward our best, our aloha to one another, to this place, and it lifts up so that only good comes through. On a very practical basis, when we have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people here, the Kapu Aloha is what holds us in our focus and our discipline to be able to bring only aloha to this place, and only aloha to lift up to the mountain, and only aloha to take home with us when we go home to whatever island, whatever place that we go home to. I think that is perhaps one of the greatest lessons that people learn here, is that we can live this way. We can be helpful. We can aloha one another. We can watch out for each other. We can stand in solidarity with one another. We can have a singular focus. And if we can learn that and internalize it so it becomes our mode of living all the time, then our world, our Hawaii, will definitely change.
one of the things we have to think about is why the movement? Why are we here? Why are we protecting the mountain? And the reason we're protecting the mountain has to do with ancestral teachings. And that ancestral DNA that's buried within us that allows us or forces us or reminds us to act in a certain way. And one of the ways that we react is in a reciprocity way. Okay, so if they're going to remove or dig into the mountain and build these colossal buildings up here, the way we react to them is, no, you cannot. Our great-great-great-grandparents didn't do it because that's not where you build things. And so it still comes with the kapus, the prohibitions of the land. And one of the kapus of the prohibitions of the land, you don't build anything up there. It's not for you. Okay? That top of the mountain belongs somewhere else. That's what was passed on down to us. And that's why it's important for us to do what we're doing. Because if we don't do what we're doing, all of the teachings for generations is ignored and it's wasted. And the other teachings of survival is how you fish, how you notice the different weather phenomena, and what happens to the water cycles and where the water is found underground, all those kinds of things. And it has to do with survival. Survival is you don't go up to that mountain and build. And so it's been like that. Many people have come from different places around the world just to tell us that they support us. And just to be here. So it's been tens of thousands of people.
It seems like that's part of the reciprocity that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the reciprocity.
The service that the Lahui is giving up here.
Yeah.
That's the reciprocity to the mauna and to the kupuna, right? The way that people are sacrificing.
Sacrificing,
to be here is part of
yeah.
that reciprocity.
But that's also, the Kapu Aloha.
Mm-hmm.
And they come and they understand what the Kapu Aloha is all about.
Yeah.
And they act accordingly.
You know, ultimately we're up here to protect the mauna, which is putting us in face-to-face physically up here with law enforcement at times. It's putting us in dialogue with people who very much disagree with us, and sometimes the expression of those disagreements can be very hurtful and ugly, and it puts us in contact even and face-to-face with people who hold a lot of power in this state, who have spread lies about us, or at best are just working to get that TMT up there at all costs. So when we are faced with those situations and Kapu Aloha becomes incredibly challenging, what are we drawing from to maintain a sense of Kapu Aloha?
I think a really good example is after we started this, and the governor and the person that heads the Hawaiian Homes Department, because this is on Hawaiian Homes land, and the governor came up together. That was a challenge for all of us. It was a challenge for all of us because in a newspaper, the governor said, "Oh, we were up here having a good time. We were smoking weed and all of these things he was saying about us, and not any of that was true." And but he came up here, but we still greeted him with aloha, and because we promised to do that. And I'm sure a lot of people did not want to greet him with aloha, because they know that he lied about us, and he's the one that's pushing to get this mountain built on. But we still have to step into what is required of us, and live that particular Kapu Aloha. So that was a challenge.
I think one of the things that we need to carry with us when we are faced off of the mauna with things that are disturbing and untruthful and all of that is we must speak the truth. That is also what the kapu is. And to speak it clearly and concisely. You know, many people here are educated, and educated in college, but educated in life ways as well. And you can speak honestly from a Hawaiian traditional life way, as well as from educated in college knowledge. And when we are away from here, to speak the truth is an important part of maintaining what we learn here, because that's what this is all about. We're living our truth here. And so when you are away from here, you speak the truth. It's all in the delivery. So I think once we leave, or even up here, when we're faced with opposition, maintain the discipline that we learn here, maintain the aloha that we learn here, and how we speak and how we behave. But we also must know what we're talking about, and we speak the truth when we need to stand up and when we should stand up and speak, because I think that's what we see here. People speak their truth.
The community that we've built up here is nowhere else in the world. It's a community that has learned to live by a certain rule or a certain law or whatever, certain kapu, and they've all strived 99.9% to live accordingly. And we all, at this point, we all sort of speak the same language. We all act the same way towards each other. Everybody's very helpful. You know, they want to help, and they do whatever they can to make this place a community that's alive, and a community that has a great camaraderie with each other. And I don't see that anywhere else, and that's wonderful. And so I'm grateful for this experience, and all my 82 years of life, I've never experienced this.
Yeah, so just to close things out real short, because you two are Kumu, and you're our Kumu up here, and you're our spiritual leaders. If I am confronted with that one thing that just makes me, all my wires cross inside, and I cannot figure out how to get back into Kapu Aloha in maybe a phrase or a sentence, or maybe two max, where do I go to get back to Kapu Aloha?
Holy kamoli. Remember your ancestors. Remember your kupuna. And what would they expect of you in this situation? We all come from makakoa. Absolutely come from people who have strongly believed in things, no matter what it was. But they also believed in ohana. They also believed in community. So I think if you can remember your kupuna, that kupuna that gave you that lesson of don't punch your brother right now. You would love to give him a slap, but no, don't punch your brother. He is your brother. If you can remember those teachings, and this is how we prepare. We have to think now about those instances that you just talked about. We have to think now. We cannot wait until you're confronted and then you lose all thinking. You think now, because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to come up to you and you like to punch them like you would have loved to punch your brother. And then you think, my kupuna said, love your ohana. And whether that person is your ohana or not, the lessons that you learn from your kupuna on how to behave well in the community that is yours is maybe the thing you want to draw upon that will give you that moment of brief thought. That doesn't mean shut up and be a doormat. That means give you that moment of brief thought before then now you say what you want to say. Aloha is not being a doormat. Aloha is knowing where you come from and how to draw upon that to behave.
What, in your folks' view, has been great examples of Kapu Aloha in practice? And that might be something that we do daily anyways, or it might be specific examples that stood out to you, but what does Kapu Aloha in practice look like?
There are hundreds of examples here every day. Okay, I get really emotional when I talk about this. When you see the same woman every day, twice a day, happily cleaning the lua. Happily, every day, twice a day, as her thing, to give aloha to everyone that is here. I met her again this morning at the lua. She's walking in with her gloves and her spray bottle and, you know, her wipes, and she walks up to me and she goes, "Are you Kumu Holt?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "You taught my son many years ago." And I said, "Tell your son he has a marvelous mother." And she goes, "I tell him every day." Those are the kinds of Kapu Aloha that happen quietly, be of service to the people that are here by sheer aloha for what needs to happen. The people, there's a couple that every day drive this road with their garbage bag and they pick up opala all the way down the highway this way, and then they come back and they drive their car, pick up opala all the way down this way. A man and his wife. Nobody tells them they have to, but they go because to them that's their aloha for this aina and what they can do so that everything is nice. It happens in big and small ways every day. Every day you greet people you don't even know with aloha and hugs and good morning and all of those ways that bind us as humans and as people. It's those little ways of setting up all the classes at the university on a daily basis and all the people who come. The brightest minds of Hawaii is here and share openly and willingly with aloha all the knowledge that they have gained in college, that they have gained in experience. They give freely to whoever wants to come and listen. That to me is the aloha that they give freely, daily, by the hour here. You go in the kitchen and you see that people work hard, constantly to prepare food. That is Kapu Aloha, just for the sheer love of being here. So it happens on a daily basis, and it uplifts me every time that I witness or I'm on the receiving end.
The other thing that I can add to what Hoku is saying is that just looking at every individual up here, they're sacrificing something. They're sacrificing, some of them, time with their family to be up here just because something might happen and they want to be here when it happens. They want to be able to give that particular time to this mauna when it happens. A lot of them are calling into their jobs, telling them, can I have my vacation time? Can I come in twice a week? And some of their bosses are supportive, others are not. They said, no, you cannot. And a few of them say, okay, I have to quit then. and they've quit their job, and they know that when this is all over, they have to go out and find another job, and it's all right with them. So everyone up here is making a sacrifice of some sort.
The conditions here are harsh, but they come and they stay because they're na'au senso. And as they participate in what's happening here at Pu'uhuluhulu, they solidify that knowledge within their na'au, but that knowledge within their minds as well. That this initial thing that brought me here is absolutely where I need to be. And absolutely how often I can come back, I come back. Because it absolutely draws me here. So it may have come first from the kupuna talking to you and making you go, baby, go. To then them being able to solidify that for themselves, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and to ground themselves in the things that are happening here, that they can then know for a surety, this is right.